So this is why we see a lot of trans guys as they Yo, what is up y'all? My name is Devin and today I'm going to be breaking down why some trans guys lose head hair as they develop facial hair and body hair, okay? But before I get into that, make sure if you're new here and not subscribed, you go ahead and press that subscribe button down below to help my channel grow. If you are interested in one-on-one coaching, a meal plan, or a training plan, go ahead and email me at devindoescoaching@gmail.com. Before I started testosterone, I obviously watched a shit ton of testosterone progressions, 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, even Ty Turner's like 6 years on T. I noticed a common thread amongst most of these trans guys as they, start to look more manly, a bit older, their hair started to leave the chat. They grow these big nice beards, they got hairy as hell, but the head hair was starting to leave the chat and I was like, bro, I don't fuck with that. So as this began to happen to me, I deep dived into some research on chemicals, how the body reacts to testosterone. Many of us don't know that when we begin testosterone converts into a hormone that is known as dihydrotestosterone or DHT, okay? So DHT is responsible for what we like to refer to as puberty, second puberty for us trans guys, body hair, the facial hair, the voice deepening, the facial masculinization. DHT is responsible for a lot of these masculinizing effects. DHT does not affect your muscle growth. So DHT is responsible for all those factors, but if you're genetically disposed, it can also cause male pattern baldness, okay? So if you look at your family history, they say it's your mother's side. Look at your family period and see if the men in your family have receding hairlines, they're bald. Maybe dig deeper into that and look into getting on finasteride. I know that there's a lot of anecdotal statements about trans guys feeling negatively about finasteride. I've personally been on it for like 3 months now. I've started back up and I haven't noticed anything whatsoever. So the higher your testosterone is, the more DHT will be converted and held on your scalp. So this is what causes the hair to become diffuse. This is what causes hair thinning and eventually, unfortunately, balding, okay? So this is why we see a lot of trans guys as they get deeper into their transition, they'll have thin hair, maybe even go bald, and they get very bearded, very hairy, very cool. If that's what you're into. I'm not into that, okay? I want to have head hair and a little bit of facial hair. I've seen a trend of a lot of trans guys after they've reached around 5 to 6 years on T, they just stop their injections altogether because they don't want the negative side effects that come with that. But in my opinion, if you're not adverse to drugs, there's no other way to put it, like if you're not adverse to finasteride or some other drugs that I'm going to be mentioning a little bit later to stop this hair loss as well, I found that keeping your testosterone within low normal range, so the range of testosterone for men is like the 300s to 900s, 900s being high. I kept my testosterone around the 700 range, and in my opinion, that was too high. It's not very necessary for muscle growth. Side note, the negatives that I experienced on a higher testosterone dose was my LDL was higher, my red blood cell and platelet level was higher, I had higher blood pressure. Everything was just like not where it needed to be for my longevity, so I did lower my testosterone dosage, and now I'm around 400, 500, and I'm getting my gains back. Everything is pretty much normal. I just have less testosterone. My course of action for getting my hair back and not stopping injections altogether: finasteride, moderate dosage of testosterone. Like I said, a lot of trans guys do stop testosterone period, but you're gonna see low energy, low sex drive. It's not gonna make your hair grow back. It's gonna stop potentially any further loss from happening. Planned Parenthood is prescribing finasteride if you suffer from male pattern baldness or you believe you're prone to it, so I think that's very dope of them. Minoxidil 5% 2 times a day. I'm gonna track my progress for about 3 to 4 months on this. If nothing is happening, I'm gonna add in RU58841. What the drugs dutasteride and finasteride do, which are little tablets, it systematically suppresses your DHT. That testosterone is no longer going to be converted into DHT because those factors are at play. There's also topical treatments like minoxidil, RU58841, and some other ones that are not FDA approved. Even though I said I'm gonna be testing it out, wink wink, I'm really not. My lab rat is. That is my essentially protocol to keeping my testosterone in a nice range where I have energy, I have a sex drive, I feel mentally positive, but I'm still combating that hair loss. Obviously, these drugs are only to be taken as tolerated, okay? If you can't handle and tolerate finasteride, then you can't take it. If you psych yourself out and read all day, I felt like shit, I felt like shit, I felt like shit, I felt like shit, you're gonna feel like shit. So my mindset has been more so like, I wanna grow my hair back. Let's go into this positively and see if this makes a positive change. The little sadness that you might psych yourself into feeling from finasteride is nothing compared to how sad you're going to feel when your hair starts leaving the chat. My self-esteem hit that I took from noticing that my hair was thinning is equally as bad as dysphoria. Like, it's dysmorphia, dysphoria, it's all shitty as fuck, okay? So whatever we can do to combat that, I'm all for it. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram. It is at DVNSPRS, which is also linked in the description down below. If you are interested in coaching, a meal plan, or a training plan, email me, which is going to be linked down below as well. Like I always say, Devin loves you, Devin's a Don, and Devin is out of here, boy.